Hello, Sam with Toast Tables here, and in this demo, I'm going to showcase how you can use Toast Tables to offer your guests different options for prepaid bookings that they want to reserve. So in this example, I'm going to show how I set up a chef's counter dinner that, when selected, offers each booking a different option for the prefix menu that they want to choose when they come in. So in this example, everyone can pick between an omnivore and herbivore prefix menu. So in this reservation for two, we can either get one of each. We can get two omnivore, we can get two herbivore, but each of us gets to indicate and pay for which prefix we are going to choose. And then we also can decide if we want to add a bonus course, which either one of us can have or both of us can have. So that's what I'm going to showcase how to set up. So as with any prepaid booking on Toast Tables, the prepaid booking ties to a menu item in your Toast point of sale menu. So there's a little pre-work here that I've already done, but I have a menu for my chef's counter dinner. And then that menu group is chef's counter dinner. And in here I have all of the items that are going to be associated with my chef's counter dinner. So I have my omnivore for 120, my herbivore for 90, and my bonus course for 30. So I've created these ahead of time as the menu items that are going to sync, and that's going to be literally what the guests are ordering when they pay. It's just that they're going to order them when they book instead of when they actually come in. And they're going to pay for them when they book instead of when they come in. So that whole order is going to be created and closed at the time of this reservation. So I've already created that and saved it and published. And so now I'm ready to go into Toast Tables. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create an experience for the chef's counter dinner. Again, for the sake of time, I've already done this, but I'm going to show you what I've set up. So for my chef's counter dinner, I have a schedule. I offer this every night in an ongoing way. I have one seating, so every day starts and ends at 7 p.m. And I've set my details with a description and a photo. I've set up my online access rules for how many people can book it. You'll see in table availability, the only tables I have available for this are my counter seats. So C1 through 6 is my chef's counter. And you can see I have the tables and the combos for just those seats available, and everything else is not, because this experience is just for those seats. All of my chef's counter dinners sit for 120 minutes, so I've set that turn time. And then for flow control, I have it set to just that one time. I say up to 8 people can book. I actually only have 6 seats, so that will cap at 6 anyway. And then finally, in the payments tab, I have attached a prepayment rule that I did create ahead of time, but I'm going to walk through how I set that up. But I've attached this chef's counter dinner prepayment rule here. So I created this ahead of time and attached the existing prepayment rule. So I'm going to show you how that was done. So under settings, under booking and ticket rules, there's prepayment rules, and this is your library of all of the prepayment rules that you can attach to any schedule or experience. So the one that I attached to my chef's counter dinner is the one here. So I'll walk through how I set that up. So I named the prepayment rule chef's counter dinner, and I've indicated that this is charged per person. So each person that picks an item is charged for that item. So a 2-top would cost less than a 4-top. If this were going to be maybe like family style or something and you charge it per booking, you can indicate that too. But this is going to be per person, so I'm charging per person. I'm allowing people to cancel up to 48 hours in advance. I actually do want to toggle this on. So this toggle means that when someone books via the phone or in-house, they're going to receive a text and email prompting them to finish their payment. So when someone books online, they have to finish the payment in order to complete the booking. But if someone books on the phone, the way that they pay is they receive a text and email with a link in order to finish that process and provide their credit card information in a PCI compliant way. So since this is a prepaid experience, I am going to require that they complete that step in order to complete their reservation. And so if they don't do that within 24, 48, or 72 hours, I can choose, then we cancel their reservation and they're notified that they lost that booking because they didn't pay. So I'm going to say they have 24 hours from the time they get that text message and email to actually finish paying. And then this is where I complete that step of attaching those items that I made in my Toast menu to this experience. So there's 2 different parts here. We have the included item, which is the prefix menu itself, and then we have the add-on, which is that bonus course I showed. And for the included item, the prefix menu itself, we have 2 options. So I'm actually going to go ahead and delete this and show what that would look like. So for the included item, I'm going to go ahead and say add included item. The menu is the chef's counter dinner. And the first item that I'm going to add is the omnivore dinner. And then the second item is the herbivore dinner. And those are the two different options that are going to be surfaced for this item, the prefix menu item. So I'm going to go ahead and click next. I can set a description here. This is for folks who eat meat. And then herbivore dinner, this is for folks who don't eat meat. And so now I have these two descriptions. The default price can be either one. What people order most is usually what you would set the default price to be. And then the item name is what, like the umbrella for what both of these things are options of. So I'm going to call this the chef's counter prefix. So this is an item, and there's two different options for what could be that item. So this is where I can kind of make sure everything looks good. We have the omnivore dinner and the herbivore dinner, confirm and add. And so you'll see there's one included item called the chef's counter prefix, but there are two different options for what that can be. And then finally for the add-on, I added that bonus course, super straightforward. I can show what that would look like by saying create add-on. I would call it add bonus course. Here's a description, describe the bonus course. And then I can say I'm going to limit this to one per person. But if you only wanted, if the bonus course was family style and you only wanted to allow up to one per booking, you can do that too. Or if you want a table to be able to order, 6 or an unlimited number, you can also do that. And so here I'm going to attach that from the menu, the chef's counter bonus course. And now I can save that. And I've added the bonus course add-on as well. And so that is how I configured the prepayment rule. I can also add a service charge. So if I want to have gratuity included in the chef's counter dinner, I would be able to do that as well. So like I said, I prepared this in advance. I'm not going to save this, but that is how you would set up the prepayment rule. And then when you are setting up the experience, you can either create the prepayment rule ahead of time or you can create it during the experience creation flow. But you attach that to the experience under this tab called payments. And that is how the whole thing comes together. And you ensure that anyone who's booking this experience has those options. So again, this is how that looks now that you've kind of seen behind the curtain. Again, you click on the time. There's only that one option because I configured that as the ongoing schedule, and everyone can pick their course and they can pick their add-on and then they can check out. We would love to see the ways that you are using prepaid options in your business. So please do feel free to share those with us or reach out if you have any feedback at tables@toasttab.com.